if you read some books on perfumery, anybody read the book Emperor of Scent?
Yes.
Yeah. This is about Dr. Luca Turin trying to get people to listen to his theory on why we smell things. Why does benzyl acetate smell of jasmine? Why does phenyl ethyl alcohol smell of rose? And there are two basic theories. One theory is that it's the shape of the molecule. So the idea is that in our receptors, we have little areas that can receive molecules. And a molecule comes along a molecule comes along, sits in the receptor, it fits in the receptor, and then sends a signal to the brain. This is a theory from the 50s by John and Moore. The other main theory, which is vibrational, by Dr. Luca Turin. He's a doctor as well, so it's a bit unfair not to say he's not. Yeah. Dr. Luca Turin. Resurrected an idea that what we detect is the vibration between the bonds in a molecule. So when there are two bonds, there's some vibration between them, there's some stress. The trouble is when we draw molecules like this, it gives the idea that they're fixed structures. But actually, they're moving all the time. And these structures, this corner represents an atom. And an atom is a nucleus with electrons circling around it. And it was generally regarded that the atom is the smallest part of matter. Is that true? No. Yeah, we now know there are smaller parts still. But if we take this most solid part of an atom, the nucleus and the electron, we draw them like this. How small are they? Nanometers, yeah. Angstroms, they measure them in? Millionths of millimeters? Does anybody know this that studied chemistry? If the nucleus was the size that I've drawn here, so if we got one atom of hydrogen and we blew it up in a magnifying glass until the nucleus was this size, how far would this electron be away? 1 foot? Normally when we see it in a drawing, this is how we see it. Anybody know this answer? The distance between an electron and a nucleus, if we expand it to this size, would be about 2 miles. Yeah? 2 miles. So that would be halfway to Bangkok. Yeah. So what that means actually is matter, even looking at this fairly solid piece, as these are solid pieces, is 99.99999% space. So the solid universe that we perceive, the floor that you're standing on, is essentially space. Yeah. And now it turns out that the electron isn't a solid. The nucleus is not a solid piece. That's mostly space as well. Yeah. So everything is space. Matter there's very, very little matter in matter. Yeah. And when we talk about shapes, it doesn't make so much sense when we see this from the point of view. Yeah? An atom is like the Earth with a moon going around it, yeah? But just much, much smaller. So we have little universes inside ourselves. Now, the perfume industry is very solidly behind the shape theory. I think all of the aroma chemists working on new molecule development follow this idea that it's to do with shape. I think that after this exercise this morning, you will start to appreciate it probably isn't shape. It's probably more to do with vibration. But there's a problem with this. If you study immunity, cells, they all work on this lock and key system, which is the shape theory. If Dr. Odour Theories is correct, the implications for all the science that's built around over 100 years on the lock and key system sort of falls apart. And that's the danger. Yeah? So everything is like based on this shape theory. And yet, if the smell theory turns out to be vibration, it sort of says, oh, maybe immunity isn't a receptor site with a certain shape. Maybe that's vibrational too. So it's an interesting time. And the book, The Emperor of Scent, is about that battle, really. And it's a fantastic book to read.